Hi, are you spending too much money every month on ready-made software solutions, but still not fully satisfied with it? And still you are hesitant to invest in your own custom software? Then this video is perfect for you. Hi, I am Balavishnu Ranganathan, founder and CEO of Techno Tackle Software Solutions, Coimbatore. I have a decade of experience in software development. Few weeks back, I met one of our customers in Bangalore. There, we were having a conversation, and the customer had a new idea which he wanted to execute as a product. So he asked me a question. So, should I create my own custom software, or should I use an existing SaaS based solution, customize it, and then deploy it? He asked me a very good question, which typically many business owners ask me. So I gave him few tips which I thought may be useful for everyone, and hence I decided to make this video today. One question which business owners generally ask me is, Balavishnu, is creating a software an investment or an expense? So before I answer this question, let's understand what an expense is and what an investment is by traditional definition. If you already know this, you can skip to the timestamp above, right? So an expense is something which you can consume, but you cannot use it for the long run. Take example of your rent. Say suppose you have rented an office in a prime location in Bangalore. You are allowed to stay in that building and use that building as long as you pay the rent. Just because you have paid the rent for 5 years doesn't mean that you can claim ownership in it, right? You just consume it and you don't own it. That's how generally a SaaS based ready-made software is. You can use it as long as you want, but you don't get to own it. Now, with respect to investment is something that you make or you buy something and it gives you returns for more than 1 year. Say, take any equipments like camera or laptop or whatever machinery in a factory as example. You have to invest significant amount and buy it, but can give you returns in the sense can give you the efficient output for more than 1 year. Hence that is called as an asset. Now let's look at it from a software point of view. As I said before, you don't own a SaaS product, but you can only rent a ready-made SaaS product. So obviously it is considered as an expense. Now with respect to custom software, there is an initial investment which you have to do for basically understanding the requirements, for designing the software, for developing it, for integrating it with the existing solution, for training your staff. But all these are one-time investment. It can be compared to building a house. Say once you build a house, you can live in it for 30-40 years maybe, right? So similarly, if you build your own software for a one-time investment, you can get returns over a long period of time. So we consider it as an investment and not an expense. Now you can ask me, Balavishnu, so that means that for custom software there is no expense. Whatever I spend is only an investment. Is it right? Well, not really. There are also some expense which you have to keep in mind even when you do a custom software. Say for example, you develop a custom software. Most likely you may need to host it in a hosting provider like AWS, Azure or Google Cloud or something of that sort. Unless you own the server, which is called on-premise, which is very rarely used nowadays. So even though the software is yours, you have to host it somewhere so that it is accessible for you, your team and your customers. So you will have to pay on a monthly basis to the cloud hosting providers. That's one kind of expense. The second kind of expense may be, you may be using some third-party APIs, say for sending SMS, for sending a WhatsApp message or for payments, whatever it may be. So those APIs may charge you based on the usage. Even though it's your own software, certain parts you are dependent on third party, which you will again have to pay on monthly basis, and there may be a small expense part to it. And in custom software, one of the most important expense to consider is the annual maintenance expenses. So basically, even though you have made a software and you have deployed it, it doesn't mean that it will maintain by itself. What I mean by this, say suppose you have made a mobile app and you have deployed it on Play Store and App Store. Tomorrow, Google introduces Android 15. So you will have to make your app compatible to Android 15. It requires some amount of maintenance work, right? So you will also have to factor that in. Typically, the maintenance cost will be somewhere between 10 to 15% of the total cost which you have spent for developing the product. This is just a general thumb rule. Now you can ask me, okay, Balavishnu, so the custom software has both investment part plus an expense part. Now, what should I choose? Now, let me answer this like this. Readymade software works for you if you have one of the following. One, you have a standard business process like billing, inventory, accounts, invoicing, etc., which is very similar to any other business. In this case, it makes perfect sense to get a SaaS product. Since there are many products available in the market, you can get it at a lower cost. Second, you need it quickly. You can't wait 3 months or 6 months to have something. You have a pressing need. In that case, it makes full sense to go to Readymade software. Third, you do not have a long-term vision for the product. You are just experimenting. You do not know how it goes. So in that case, it is perfect to go with a Readymade software. Fourth, you have already found a Readymade software which suits your needs. It has all the features you want. The UI is good, you are happy with everything, and the support is good. In this case, you can for sure go with Readymade software itself. Now, on the other hand, you can go to custom software if one of the following works for you. You need a clear differentiator between your competitors. So if you buy a Readymade software, even your competitor can buy that. So there is no differentiator. But if you create a custom software that is specifically tailor-made for you, it gives you a very long-term advantage over your competitors to make your business process very efficient. Second, you have tried some of the industry standard ready-made tools available and you are not happy with it, either the pricing or the features, etc. Number 3, your ready-made service provider refuses to customize your product. Sometimes you may have some requirements which may not fit in the product pipeline or the product roadmap of the service provider, and they may not be willing to customize it immediately for you. In that case, you can anytime opt for a custom software. And the other factor is, suppose you are paying for many users. Say most of the SaaS providers, they bill on per user basis. You have a lot of people and you need multiple licenses. In this case, the cost can quickly balloon up and it can be very significant even in the short term. That time, it makes perfect sense for you to custom software. Thank you. I hope you found this video interesting. Do let me know in the comments what is your preference for your business, custom or ready-made. See you in my next video. Bye.